Hi there. Welcome to 60 Matthews. I'm Matthew.
What the? No, you're not. Get out of here. Hi there. Welcome to 60 Matthews. I'm Matthew. Today, I wanted to talk to you about utilizing your available resources to problem solve and flex your creativity muscles. I think now is the perfect time to talk about it because we're all limited in where we can go and the resources that we have. For instance, this new van Gladys was made with that concept in mind. Over the years, I've collected lumber, I've collected tools, screws, and random things like hinges and L brackets. Whenever I was building my first van, I spent a lot of time designing it and building it, and I made everything specific and exact. Or as exact as you can get without a 90-degree angle in this place. I spent a lot of time designing and building my bed because it pulled out to be a full bed, but then it slid in to be a couch. I had to go into SketchUp and get it laid out perfectly so that I knew where all the parts fit in together. It was great having it in the van and being able to form it into a couch, and it really wasn't that hard to set up and take down. However, I learned that I was just as happy with it being a bed, and I didn't really put it into couch mode that much. So I thought that I was fixing a problem by investing a lot of time and money into this design, and as it turns out, I really didn't need it. Even though I had spent a lot of time designing and refining my first van, there were still several examples like this where I ended up not using what I thought would be absolutely necessary. So whenever I started building and designing my second van, I looked at everything I had. All the tools, all the lumber, all the random stuff. I looked at all that and said, okay, what can I do with all of this? And that's kind of the point of this video. Van life and minimalism are practices in problem solving. Whenever I first started getting into and designing tiny houses, I thought that I needed this big 20-foot trailer or a shipping container or something really large. But I didn't know if I would enjoy going tiny, and I didn't want to invest thousands of dollars in something that I might not enjoy. And so I bought a van just to test the waters and see how I liked it. As it turns out, I love it, and I don't need as much space as I originally thought. Granted, this van doesn't have everything. It doesn't have every tool that I need. I know that I would require a lot more in a house, but now I have a much better grasp on what I actually need for my life. This idea really started to solidify whenever I got into game development and coding and programming. I thought that coding and programming required many, many years of specialized training in order to do the simplest of tasks. But I didn't want to get a computer science degree just to do simple tasks. I learned with Unity that you can have a simple script that says, if you push this button, then move this way. And you don't need any kind of big fancy program in order to do that. Theoretically, you can code and program with Notepad, which is included on your computer. Granted, there are plenty of programs out there that will make your job easier, but it instilled into my head the idea of creating something out of absolutely nothing. And not just something, but something wonderful and amazing and complex and grand. Recently on this channel, I've talked about my journey into game development and my journey into graphic design. I never wanted to commit to Photoshop because what I wanted to do didn't require 99.9% of Photoshop's abilities. All I wanted to do was cut out something from one picture, move it to another picture, and change the color. That's it. I found a bunch of programs that I could use, but they were free-ish, or they were a demo, or they had so many ads that it drove me crazy. But then I found the free program GIMP, and I realized I didn't need Photoshop at all. This one tool did everything I needed it to do. I'm sure eventually I'll find GIMP's limitations. Believe me, I've already kind of struggled with it. But I'll save a lot of money by holding off buying Photoshop while I wrap my head around what I'm doing with graphic design. The intro that started this video was done completely free with no specialized equipment. I just used my sketchpad with a pen and pencil, my camera, GIMP to clean up some of the lines and fill in the colors, and DaVinci Resolve, my free video editor, to animate everything. Now, I know that the animation itself wasn't that impressive, but the whole thing only took me a couple of hours. I thought that that kind of stuff took months to do, and that's with highly trained professional individuals. My girlfriend put this idea into perspective the best. She said that the more time and money she spent investing in an activity versus doing the activity itself, the less likely she was to stick to it. And that's so true. I've done that so many times. There are so many activities that I've invested all this money and time preparing for it and said, okay, now I'm ready. I want to do something else. We're both climbers and we've worked for climbing gyms. We've seen several people that come in and say, okay, well, I need the best shoes. I need the best chalk. I need a harness. I need a rope. all before they get on the wall. We didn't have, nor did we want to do any of that. We just had regular tennis shoes and we saw something and we started climbing it. The first shoes that I bought were completely worn out. They were the ones that we rented out to people and they weren't good enough quality to have around anymore. So I bought those and used those for years before I finally invested in a brand new pair of climbing shoes. I would have been a better climber with better shoes, but those crappy shoes trained me better. And whenever I finally got new shoes, I was climbing up the wall like freaking Spider-Man. Right now I'm looking at getting a drawing tablet because it would make graphic design and animating so much easier. So I've done a lot of research on which one I should buy and if I need to get one. And in my research I found a video of a guy talking about 5 ways that a cheap drawing tablet was better than an expensive tablet. It was a great video because it was coming from a guy who reviews drawing tablets. So as a disclaimer, he basically said, obviously the more expensive tablets are better. They've got more tools, they're fancier, they're gonna make your life a lot easier, but he said that none of those expensive tablets ever made him a better artist. They made it easier on him, but they didn't enhance his ability. And I think that's the key. Just because you don't have the exact perfect tool for the job, just because it's not the fanciest or the most expensive, it doesn't mean that you can't accomplish something great. In fact, by not having the right tool, you're forced to look at a problem a different way, from a different perspective, to step back and say, okay, what else can I do? The more you do this and the more you think outside the box, the better you'll be able to handle future problems that come up. And the more confident you'll be that you might not know how to solve a problem once you first look at it, but you'll be able to figure it out. Give yourself more credit. You are way smarter, more creative, and more powerful than you think. So, that's all I have for this week. I hope I inspired you to solve whatever problem you're facing, even though I know right now there are a lot of problems, and a lot of them are out of our control. And for that, we just have to face and deal with however we can. I really, really hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're staying sane at home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.